Warm greetings. Welcome to today's session on Women in Architecture. The discussion on women in architecture is about understanding the nuances of being women in the profession, and it is placed in the larger purview of being in the diverse fields of built environment for those women who started their career with architectural education. The session is conducted with the support of Eco Development and Research Cell, a not-for-profit initiative of the environmental design consultants. My name is Mansee Bal Bhargava, and I'm the host for the discussion, and I'm going to take you through the conversation we are going to have with Debarati Chakraborty. But before I do that, let me just tell you the essence of this conversation as well. In this conversation with engaging women from across different fields of architecture, from practice and pedagogy, the aim is to celebrate their presence and participation in shaping the built environment. The objectives are to learn, to document, and to disseminate their journey, especially those who chose to practice research, education, or do arts, do activism, and or mix of them in the lens of multi and transdisciplinarity, especially to find their way in the career. Through the study, the intention is also to acknowledge and appreciate their contribution in the profession and bring forth the critical points that needs to be addressed at individual, institutional, and collective level as what makes or breaks or tweaks a career of women architects in India. The study shall implicitly allow us to understand how women maneuver their lives to find their purpose of being useful to the profession. At the same time, explicitly help build role models for the current and future generation of practitioners. The study is also called for action to realize the need for an equitable architectural profession in order to advance towards more sustainable built environment. And this we are saying with the presumption that the profession at this moment is highly patriarchal. The method we are applying in this research is called autoethnography. In simple words, it means the life journey of our guest, and it's the pen or the write-up of the researchers who are working on this project. The methods thus include informal interaction followed by a semi-structured and open-ended interaction with the respondent. And in the process, we are developing a video series and transcribing the interaction to develop a coffee table book for dissemination. In here, we are now talking about Debarati Chakraborty. So before I invite her for the conversation, first of all, thank you so much for agreeing, Debarati. I hope I am pronouncing your name correctly. And before I really start the question with you, let me just briefly introduce you for this platform. Debarati Chakraborty is an architect and urban researcher, and she obtained her PhD in urban development with a specialization in peri-urban areas of West Bengal. Her master's in urban design and bachelor's in architecture are from Jadavpur University. She's working to this day as an architect and in the Central Public Works Department under the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, a Government of India. She's affiliated with esteemed organizations, and additionally, she nurtures a deep passion for photography, sketching, and traveling. This is just a brief, and rest of her skills and her interests and things related to being women in the profession will come to know through this conversation. So Debarati, you heard me what I speak about, what is this research is. And just to give you a disclaimer before we start the conversation with you, in here we are trying to understand and share and learn the worries and the wisdom by the woman, for the woman, of the woman in the built environment. And we are doing it in a very masterclass manner so that it can be referred in future by the future generation. So I hope you are okay that we are recording this, and you are also okay because you've already given consent for this interaction. I assume you are okay that we are going to write about your life in short.
Yes,
Thank you.
I'm absolutely sure.
Okay. Thank you so much, first of all, for your time. And I'm going to take you back in time to many years ago when you were in high school. How was it at your home? How was it among the family and friends? What actually brought you to architecture? Why architecture as a course?
Thank you so much, Mansee, for inviting me for such a, cool discussion session. This is the first time I'm speaking about my life in a public platform. Now, talking about how I got into architecture, because I belong to a very middle class family, if you can understand by the, I don't know, by mixing up with me, by talking to me. So I'm a very like humble person who just went to school with the motto to pass from class to class and just get a promotion to the next one. And I seriously didn't have any kind of like choice or aim in front of me to become something in life. But of course, all the parents do have certain wishes and longing for their child to grow up as. And hence, my father told me, or mother pushed me towards going for a doctor, going to, to become a doctor in my future life. Um, but as luck would have it, I was very good at drawing, and at the same time I was a little bit good at maths, physics and chemistry. And when once my joint entrance results flowed in, and I didn't score very well. As far as I can remember, I placed somewhere around 7,000 to 8,000 of rank, and that point of time that was of no use. You wouldn't get a chance getting into any kind of government institutions such as Jadavpur University or Shibpur IIEST, and medical. It was out of the syllabus for me at that time. So, and I didn't want to waste another more year of my life for this. I told them that whatever I would do in this year. I wouldn't take it further from this. Some of my private tutors, they knew me for my drawings and my good handwritings, I would say. So they actually asked my father to meet them, and they told him that there is a subject called architecture, and your daughter may have a good career in that, so you may ask her to opt for that, because she has scored something in joint entrance. Now there is another exam which she needs to pass. Both of their results will combine, and she will again be given another position. And hence the way I took, and I got some or the other like trainings from the seniors of the colleges. And I sat for that exam. I scored really good in it, and finally I got architecture in Jadavpur University. So that was the story how I landed in architecture. But once I landed, I couldn't get a like head and tail of it, what architecture is. I couldn't perceive it, the vastness of it, because there was everything in there. There was art, there was history, there was literature,
Yes.
everything that you can imagine in one subject. So literally, um, in the middle of the study, I understood that architecture is on the pinpoint of the pyramid, as you say. It was during my study level. So that's how I started studying architecture. Now the story became something different when I like went up and up. So I'll just see to what you have in your this chola for the next question for me. So
Okay.
that was my story about getting into architecture.
Interesting. Because what I'm seeing common amongst all our entrants and aspiring architects in those tender ages is that one thing is that we had this, knack for good drawings and, good handwriting. That comes
Yes.
out quite common in most of the interactions.
Yes, yes.
But because we are focusing on being women, my questions will be more on the woman side. And, I'm also going to reflect upon my life, because then the conversation becomes much easier for me to also relate with. And the whole research idea is written from my own experience as well, when I'm looking out to all of you and looking for reflections. So when you were in college, and I know the regional differences matter, whether you are in West Bengal or Kerala or in Uttar Pradesh or Rajasthan or Gujarat, it matters. But how was it in the college days? For 5 years, did you ever realize that it is going to be different being a woman? Or yes, of course, it is going to be different being an architect, because as you very well put, that it's at the tip of the pyramid of society, where it can really look into anything for that matter and everything. And But looking at the gender aspect of it, did you ever realize that it's going to be different being a woman in the profession? Or in my time, it was like we were really donning the department, I mean, for that matter, because we were equal numbers, that also mattered. And also we were more intelligent or doing well
Yes,
in
yes,
education. How was it in
absolutely.
your case?
I captain in that manner. I captain. We are more intelligent.
So, but how was it? I mean, did you realize, were you made to realize that it's going to be different in your, yeah, when you come out? How was your college days as a girl?
Um, See, I myself, being a woman, I never felt less than a man in any point of time of my life.
Hmm.
And that too is I mean being carried on by me since till date. And where
Hmm.
once I got chance in architecture in Jadavpur University, um, I think just like your batch, our batch was in our batch there was maybe more than half a portion of girls only, and
Hmm.
all of them were very talented. They were very like aspiring, and they used to come up with such nice and good designs even from their first years. I mean,
Hmm.
in first years also we learn basic designs like composition and all and everything.
Hmm.
Yes, but maybe that was kind of a little like novice or a little immature-ish or whatever it is with the boys that they used to point out that girls can't design. So I
Hmm.
think that maybe is something is just like cheerifying girls or something like that, but never a serious tone. Once a professor of mine pointed me out with when I was not being able to complete my homeworks or whatever it is, the project given to me in a period,
Hmm.
and I came up with a excuse, or let's say I was really sick at that point of time. I told him that I couldn't do it because I had a little bit of headache or migraine. He told
Hmm.
me, see, in your future life you will have to forget about these words, migraine, headaches, and this and that, because you need to work under the heat of sun directly. There will be no shade onto your head. You won't get a office with a AC therein, and so you need to prepare yourself like that. You're not going to get a
Already hinting.
like corporate office with
Already
you all
hinting.
the way.
Huh.
So
He was already
prepare
hinting at it.
yourself like that, that you can work shoulder to shoulder with a man in the field
Hmm.
as well. And some point of time, maybe my very closest person, he pointed me out that women can't do a design. All they do is curves, and all they do is like going flamboyant and all. They don't have practicality. But I would say, man, dude, look at Zaha Hadid,
Hmm.
what she has done. So
Hmm.
yes, we like curves. Yes, we do impractical things, but I think practicality comes from impractical things.
Hmm.
So I was, and I fought it. I think no real harsh comments or no real harsh obstacles I faced, but the small things, small like toned I mean like sentences, I avoided them. I really gave a reply. So I'm happy with what I am. I'm a woman
Hmm.
in architecture, so I'm happy with that.
Mhm. Interesting. So, I mean, having this attitude also takes a lot of courage and time. I mean, with time we learn it, or some people literally have it by
Yes,
culture.
Mansi, that's really true. That's
Mm.
really true.
By
And
culture, or by grooming, or by,
yes,
I mean, having that
absolutely.
as I will say, biologically having that instinct, or
Yes, yes, Mansidi. I mean,
yeah.
coming out of a middle class family, you can't never think of replying to a person with, I
Mm.
would say, not harshly, but with a real wise tone, or maybe
Mm.
some wise words would come out of your mouth when you're
Mm.
getting hurt by someone.
Mm.
But in time, you learn how to do it.
Mm.
I think it's your inner emotions which teaches you that you should not be like angry to a person who's being naive about your charisma or your potential.
Mm.
So you know how to handle it, and
Mm.
now it has dawned on me. Now it has come to me. I have been enlightened by my inner, whatever you say, soul searching or whatever it is, that I can actually tackle people better than I used to in my
I'm
past.
sure. I'm sure. I think we also learn it by age, by now,
Yes, yes,
I mean,
yes,
especially, I mean, I have reached a stage where I just don't give, I give damn to people who comment, pass
yes,
comments and all. But
absolutely.
yes, if there are constructive criticism which can make me a better person, better
Yes,
professional,
absolutely. I would take that
we will
criticism
take
very
it.
positively.
Yes, very positively. But making fun and really demeaning, I mean, I don't take it now so easily. I give it back as well.
Absolutely.
But trying to understand from you when you were completing your bachelor's, how was it? Were you already? I mean, I really like the way you mentioned about your sir, how he was trying to at least prepare you what's out there in the society or in the world, and be ready for taking the hardship. How was it during your end of the bachelor's, and what were you planning? Going for further studies, doing
That
practice,
point of
doing
time, I was
teaching?
really confused what to take
Hmm.
up. I was into academics. I was into doing jobs. I was taking up actually part-time jobs in a small farm, let's say, and I was doing some interior work, some of the smaller building works and everything. And at the same time, I was taking up my masters because I also didn't want to give a gap there. I
Hmm.
was maybe having a hunch in me because I liked academics and I like academics till now, and I'm connected to various organizations
Mhm.
because of this interest. And that point of time also, I was thinking of going into academics, teaching in any institution, and I was not getting that opening because I never wanted to shift from my city. That is it.
Mhm.
I mean, like.
That is Kolkata.
Yes, and
Mhm.
unfortunately, I'm sitting in Ranchi and talking to you right now just before pujas, and I'm missing my city really. But point is
Are
that
you not going for puja?
yes, yes, I will. I have
So
already.
I see you there. I'm already also arriving on 9th.
Oh, great! We'll catch up surely. We'll surely
Sure,
catch
sure,
up.
sure.
If
Sure.
Sonia is there, we will catch up surely.
Sonia, I have my doubts if she is coming to Kolkata because
Yeah,
I have not found out from her, but we can
I'll
find
speak to
out.
her. I'll speak to her
Uh,
and I'll surely speak to you. So,
Definitely.
where were we? So, like, when I passed out masters, then there was a big question: what should I take up? Now,
Huh.
I actually, I was fortunate that some big architect in the city came for my jury, and he liked my presentation. I approached him that, sir, can I work with you? He said, yes, you please show up to my office with your portfolio, and I would like to see that. And that was just a formality. He said that you can come and join my office from the first of very next month. And I went there and I started my job, I think, in 2008, end of 2008. And July of 2008. And the salary at that point of time was around 20,000 bucks. So
Hmm.
20K I used to get at that point of time. I was uh, head over heels in love with someone very near and dear to me. And there was at a point of time I was thinking like I will continue with this workplace and I will get married soon. And I never had some big ambition in my life to go for further studies or do something. But as you know that life is not a bed of roses, and at some point of time people show you that I'll get two more new juniors or two more new workers at the same price that I'm paying you.
Hmm.
And that point of time they don't tell you maybe directly, but they make you
Of
feel that
course.
you're not wanted here. So
Hmm.
that point of time I started searching for something new, and yes, of course I got something, of course, much more uh, what should I say, close to my heart. I got into academics. I started teaching into the first degree college in Kolkata, the
Hmm.
private degree college. And I started working with Sonia Di there only.
Okay.
So
Hmm.
yes, and that point of time, the same time, this opening came up in CPWD, the UPSC, the ad was there, and my father actually suffered but a miserable life because he used to work in private. He was a
Hmm.
mechanical engineer and he was into marketing. So
Hmm.
he knew the pains and distress that one has to go in private
Hmm.
uh, life. I mean, private working space or whatever you say, like. So he always wanted me to get something in government. Like it was his dream to get me into government platform. In the middle of my journey of college, he pushed me to become an IAS also. Like he he made me sit in.
My father had a dream that I become an IAS officer, and I
Yes,
really feel sad now that I did not realize how
yes,
important it was.
that is my realization as well right now. That I didn't took it seriously, and I
Yes, I didn't take it
simply,
seriously.
yes, I simply sat there. I made patterns onto my answering sheet, and I came back. I said the exam went fine, but I couldn't get it. So two times I attempted, and two times I failed. Of course, I didn't never took
I
it
didn't
seriously.
even try. Yaar. I mean, I feel so bad now when I'm working with all the bureaucrats and leaders. I
Yes.
realize how
Now
important it is.
I am now close to them, closer to them, but I'm not them. I feel that. Like I
Yes,
know so many of them.
I'm not even closer to them, but I do know many of them, and I know how important position they hold, that they can change the
I
course
know.
of the
I
society.
know the all the like all everything is shaping here. Like in I'll just divert from where I was, and I'll come to the life that I'm in. Now I feel that I'm not on the top of the pyramid. I feel like I'm on the bottom of the pyramid, and the pyramid has like
And inverted.
yeah,
It's
exactly, it
inverted.
has been inverted. So I'm like here, and the whole pyramid is on the top of me, and all the ideas are flowing from top to bottom, and I have to work it out. Yes, sometimes I have to spark through the bottom, and I have to pin them, like get
You
them
can
to
now
my
start
idea.
drawing it as this time machine, that that way you can look at life.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So that happens right now.
Curves.
Curves. So like now I'm really close to them. I talk to them, and I understand they have so many brilliant ideas flowing through them. They try to like what would I say? Like they try to innovate, or try to put in some new thoughts into every area that we can perceive. Like I have spoken to the you are a huge personality from water.
No, 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 I
So
am not.
I get the privilege of going to few of these water conferences. I have myself been into two of the world water forums,
Hmm,
uh, and I have met quite a number of people who are working in water ministry.
hmm.
So, and I have worked two of their projects, one in Kolkata, that is NCDWSQ, and another here is going on. Uh, I mean, they have in I mean, architects can perceive everything, and being an architect now, I feel that I'm in so many ideas flowing into me. I don't
Absolutely.
have the place to go and put them into papers.
Yes.
So when I get the chance to talk to these bureaucrats in every field, I try to put my ideas into their head, so that their ideas will much take shape much more
Absolutely.
practically.
Actually, they are looking for people who can implement their ideas
Yes, yes,
in,
yes,
in,
yes,
in
yes.
brick and mortar, probably.
I know. Because once, I mean, what happens here, like I can feel them now, that as we have learned the language of architecture, we can actually make something in reality. The way we think, we can reproduce it into the ground.
Yes.
The way they perceive, they can't reproduce it because they don't know the language.
And yet, also, we can help them understand it through the words which we have, which they cannot put in words.
Right,
Yes.
absolutely, absolutely. So they see through our eyes.
Hmm.
Now I am working in one of this project here in regional passport office. So now I mean, the RPO, she is here the same time that I have been transferred to Ranchi. She is back from, she's sitting here from that time only. But I think 2 years or more has passed, and now she's realizing that she wants a different kind of design inside the building to flow the work. I mean, to have a, I mean, like simple, or what should I, smooth flow of their interdepartmental activities inside the building. So what she has done now, she has told me that you please redesign the interior. So I mean, you see, once the building is like it is getting one floor has been casted, two floors have been casted, all the beams column have been casted, walls are being taken up, so all the lines and the services are fixed. So now I have to manage my client, I have to manage the site as well, to like make a symbiotic environment, because they are not ready to take out the plumbing line, the services line, and now she is not ready to use the building like that. So there comes the challenge of an architect, that either I should have uh, pushed her from the very beginning, that please see whether you need any changes. Now I am learning also that I should have done this from the very beginning of the project and ask her not to make changes in between. But I support her, right? Like whatever ideas she have, because ultimately it is going to be for the user, not for me, not for the contractor, not for CPWD, not for anybody. I support her thoroughly and truly that she should do it, because that would I mean like uh, that would enable her to perform better in future. So,
Absolutely.
and I support her for that.
So it's like I understand that you are working at this moment with one of the women clients. So let me just ask you an interesting question here. How is it as a professional when you work on the field? First of all, how do people see you as a woman architect? And you can really answer this from how it changed over time when you started and where you are today. Because of course, there's a huge change, but then how it is to have your client as men and vis-a-vis client as women? Answer both the questions.
Okay. Mansi, previously when I joined, I was not actually exposed, I would say, to this outer world, because I was actually working under a strata. I
Uh-huh.
was a deputy architect. When I joined straight from UPSC, I was a deputy architect in, uh, I think, gazetted rank officer or something like that they used to call. So I thought I had a like white collar job. I would sit in office. I will just draw. I will don't have to do anything. And seriously, it was something like that. I had to actually report to two of my bosses or
Hmm.
three of my bosses, and they used to give me work. I just had to complete all my work and submit it to them, and there it was that was it. That was it.
Hmm.
Just it. Now once I got promoted to architect,
Hmm.
and I was still sitting in Kolkata, where there was a huge group of architects working on top of me. So I
Huh.
never used to face contractors. I never used to face any clients. Scenario changed when I joined back in Ranchi.
Hmm.
I mean, like in 2022 in July. I joined this office. I started as an architect. I don't have any architect working on top of me, any boss. I am working under a civil engineer, a chief engineer. His post
Hmm.
is, so I
Hmm.
am placed under him.
Hmm.
And once I joined, people were reluctant to take me in as an architect. Maybe they thought that they will let me know anything, and I will actually agree to everything. And somewhere I felt that it is high time to make them realize that you're talking not to a woman but to a professional. So
Yes.
um, the people, I mean, like the agencies or the contractors, they used to come into the office, talk to me in a tone which was not tolerable. So I met
Probably initially they would have been shocked also to see, okay.
not I mean, there was another one before me. That time they
Okay.
never used to come to the office. So once I came in, they started coming in my office, and they asked for drawings and details and everything. And once they saw that there is a tsunami flow of works, I mean, drawings coming to them to read and to redraw it on the site. And then they started a little bit like, let's say, revolt
Inquiries.
was,
Huh.
yeah. And I had to mitigate the challenge by simply being a tsunami myself. And I
Huh.
told them, I heard your names quite a some time in this region, that you're such a such person, and then you have done this and you've done that. So do my work. You asked me for drawings, I gave you drawings. You make it in the field and show me that you can do it. So that was a little bit of challenge. I think the people who used to come here in this office, in this cubicle, in this room with a grumpy face and a lot of grudge in their heart that I am taking instruction from a woman. Nowadays they come in my office with a smiling face, maybe with a 40% problem from their side, 60% of their own to solve. I mean, they have taken me as a problem solver. So that is how I'm going on right now. Yes, of
It's the
course, it has
yeah.
it has loaded my shoulders with burden that I always sit in my office till 7:30, 8, maybe later at night also sometimes. But I now feel okay. Previously, I used to feel very worried about all these things, that how would I reply, how would I talk to them. Now I know that how to talk to them and how to handle them. Like,
So that
I'm
things
like,
have changed. Trust building
yes,
process takes time.
I know, and I mean, like, I was also not that sure of myself that I could do that. I mean, by my own, because I have never seen 4, 5 tall, big guys sitting in front of me, talking to me like with a very imposing tone that we won't be able to do. I mean, what you have done, what did you do it? They have come down to terms. So I think that was my
Wow.
luck, I would say.
I think it's the work also, no? I mean, you because I think they also are have to learn to work with women, like we have to also work
I
learn.
know, I know, I know the way I talk to them at site right now. I mean, and you asked me a question about the clients.
Huh.
So the clients are really happy with me. They're very cool. I some of them are from Kolkata and West Bengal, mostly the directors, and also they speak to me in Bengali always, and they find me like again a problem solver for them. So always any problem, they always contact me at the very beginning. Ki, I am having this challenge at my side. You please come and see and see to it that it is being resolved within no time. So I
Hmm.
try to take up all their problems as my own, and I try to solve them. I'm a little dedicated in that way. I don't find happiness if someone is not happy with the architecture that I have made for them. So
Hmm.
I try to solve it, and they are really happy. They don't demean me as being a woman architect. They always seek for my advice. They always try to find out solutions from me. So that was it. Matlab, even if it is a male, even if it is a female client, I would say both of the categories, they are absolutely pretty gelled up with me being an architect in this region.
Yeah, I think I mean anyway, architecture profession has to be genderless. It's just that because there are more men in the out there, we are talking about women in architecture. But you raised an interesting point from where I bring another question to you related. You know how I mean, if you have to work so hard, also that you are uh, putting yourself to bring it to some level of perfection, which many women does. And I always say that women carry that superwoman syndrome by themselves, even if nobody is asking them to. But just just trying to understand from you from that perspective that here is a profession where we have really worked hard to make it work for us, and constantly we have to keep proving about the worthiness of the profession first, and then us as part of the profession. Women, men, all have to do that. It's not different, but women has a longer route to prove that than men, and it's all the studies around the world show that. But just trying to understand, then if you're so engrossed in your profession, how are you managing your personal life and professional life? I'm sure there are many moments almost on an everyday basis, but then you may have be maybe having some mantras and tantras to really find a balance between both. Or how do you do that? What is
I
Debarati's
sometimes
recipe?
lose balance. I am not a perfect example to be given. I sometimes lose balance. I even cry some days out that I feel frustrated about managing all the ends, meeting up all the challenges. So I also
That's human.
get
That's very
overburdened.
human.
So I cry my heart out and I let it go, and I gain all my energy back through that process, and I again start walking in my road of whatever hurdles there is. I try to overcome them by my willpower or whatever it is that is making me going on till date, even after facing up so many challenges. I won't say like, no, there was no challenges. I'm sorry, I withdraw my word. But like whatever life has shown me, and I have taken up all those positively in my life. I shredded all the negatives out of it. And the biggest strength, I would say, sometimes when I look back at her, my daughter, when I look back at her, I treat her as my equal. I don't treat her as a kid anymore. And I always like, she still wants to become roly poly and like very like clingy onto me. So I don't make her do that anymore. I always treat her like she has grown up and she can handle her own things, though she doesn't.
Yes, I met her. I met
Though
her.
she doesn't, but I always try to put her in front of adult things. I mean, not adult things in some other way, but adult things as
Yes,
in
she has to
uh,
behave more
yes,
disciplined.
more like disciplined way, mix up with people, mix up, talk to people. I mean, I won't be the lone person with whom she will interact. That I have not done in my life. So that's how in a day she manages to talk to people all through this area. Like whoever comes in her contact, she will speak to them. She will manage to share feelings or thoughts, or ask for a chocolate, or ask for a packet of chips. She will do that by herself. Now sometimes she might call me and she might ask me, why are you late, why aren't you coming to office? She understands that mama works late at night, she tries to finish up work. She doesn't actually disturb me in that way. But so I also try to support her whenever there is an exam going on. Just as because I was rescheduling
Our
this meeting
conversation.
on to after tomorrow, because tomorrow is our exam as well. I was trying to reschedule it because I was thinking that I will go back home by 6 o'clock and I'll sit with her. So that's how we actually fulfill. I mean, see wherever we are lacking, and we try to adjust ourselves into that. And she is a kid who doesn't uh, desire, or like she doesn't like, what should I say, she's not that nagging type of a person, that persona that she wants me always with her side, beside her.
Not
Like
demanding.
if
So I
I
think
leave
she's
her with you, she will happily stay with you for, let's say, I mean, 1 month, 2 months. She will just speak to me over phone and she'll be happy, because
oh nice.
she will learn new things from you. So she is a
Hmm.
good learner. She tries to take up mostly bad things from people, but I know it in time it will convert to, I keep my fingers crossed, and I know that she will pick up good things. And she picks up discipline also from people. So I'm blessed, touch wood, in that way. And try it out. I mean, I will send her to you
Sure.
for
We are meeting in
and you will see,
Kolkata now.
it is not difficult to maintain your work, and I mean,
Oh,
person.
absolutely not. I'm sure because people like you are already doing that. I mean, I chose not to have a child or children, and I have a completely
Mansidi,
different
where I
perspective.
faced a real difficult situation, because because I was living alone, and I wanted to have a like a third party to be there with her always when I was in my office. So uh, that difficulty was a real difficulty in my life, to find out a good person to accompany her throughout the day, so that she's not misled uh, for any of our decisions or any of
Yes.
our like doings.
And she's
So
safe as well.
that,
That's important.
yes, that is for working woman, and for a single woman like me, that challenge is a big challenge, to have her baby seated by someone good.
Hmm.
So I had a disaster going on for 2 years, and then I met a person. Now I'm happy. I touch wood, she's also happy with us. So that way I am blessed also. I feel so.
Wonderful. So that brings me to a little different question here. And it's about some life-changing moments and decisions that has really shaped you what you are today. And I'm sure there must be some people who have helped you through, or there are inspirations who have influenced in the way you work or the way you are as an individual. So would you like to talk about those things?
Um, biggest decision. I don't know whether it was a mistake in my life. I was supposed to go into the way you're going right now in your life, and I
It's
really
not
could not think
easy.
of
Grass
that.
is
I
always
know
greener.
I was getting into that. I could not think of the non-conformities, or let's say the insecurities, or the unsure part of it, whether I would get fixed up something onto my bank account every month, and I would be able to provide for myself or for my family. So there was the basic question of getting me into something much more sure. And
Hmm.
and maybe that's why I was pushed into being an architect in a government organization like this. Now, talking about big decisions, I would say Professor Shantosh Ghosh was the first one who showed me some facades of my life which I never thought I would see. That one can actually go and see the world with her own or his her own eyes without having much of the bank balance that is required. So he showed me a
So true.
way to
So
actually.
true. Possible.
Yes,
I can also endorse
so
it.
true. I mean, like I was so I was so scared that if I take up masters in some other country, I may have to sold my house. I may have to put it into bank for mortgage or something like that to take up a loan. And but he proved me wrong, and he sent me to several of those conferences I attended. And I think at some point of time marriage was an issue, and I shifted my track from there, the basic and core academics, and I shifted myself to being a professional. uh, Another person I would like to mention here is the one who has been a guide, let's say, not a, I won't say a guide, I would say a companion, a very good friend and a mentor. And I learned so many things from her. She's Sonia Di. You
Hmm.
know her. She's another Wonder Woman. I love her a lot. And I have learned so many things. She's such a talented lady, you know.
I
So
know.
these two I can't possibly think without. And another person, like, he inspired me a lot in my designs, was Professor Shamuresh Mukherjee from Jadavpur University. And he was the very beginning art design teacher in the first year. So the first he was the one, he told me
Is
that you need to
important.
work shoulder to shoulder with men in the field.
And it's all useful now.
Yes, absolutely. Now I don't, even if I have migraine, I go out in a site and I shout and I make the work done.
Call
So,
him sometime and tell that I'm doing all those things.
but I'm sorry, he passed away a few
Oh, I'm
years
so sorry to
ago.
hear. Huh? Hmm.
So, and last but not the least, in my organization, you see, I have been in touch with such great persons. I have been very fortunate in that respect.
Mhm.
Like I'm sorry, I'm a power cut হয়ে গেছে.
চলে
I
গেছে।
think it will
হ্যাঁ।
be
ইন্টারনেট
reconnect.
চলবে?
চলছে এখনো অবধি. So
হ্যাঁ।
hope so এসে গেছে.
হুম।
So like the last but not the least, there is another person in my organization. He's architect Rajesh Kumar Dhiman. He was the ADG at that point of time when I left Kolkata and I was about to come back here. So before coming here, he when he joined in Kolkata CPWD, he asked me that what is your qualification. I told him that I have done my masters. I am halfway through my PhD and I don't think I'm ever going to complete it.
হুম।
He pushed me from 2020. He told me I will not allow you to come to this office until you finish your PhD. So he was the
Oh,
one who challenged me to finish it. And because of him, I am a PhD today. I have finished it last year. I got my degree in Jadavpur University. So every point of my life, I have got good people coming in, and they have
absolutely.
been a part and parcel of my life since then. And I may be forgetting few other names, but
Of course, but we cannot
yes,
name
and
everybody at this point.
there are lots of people to give thanks to, that I am alive, I'm happy, and I'm getting like the force, the energy force that is inside me, and in a positive way to move forward every day.
Yeah, absolutely. A very tricky question here, because you are with people from the fraternity, you have many friends and all. Does it really make a difference? You can refer it from your own friend circle and professional network. Do you think for a woman it really makes a difference to have a spouse from the same field, or not have a spouse from the same field, or not have a spouse at all? I mean, uh, does it really make a difference in the career?
At the beginning of the career, you must have a spouse from your field. The
That
middle of
was
your
your way of
career, you
looking at
should have
it.
a spouse from other field.
Okay, I also
The
moved
beginning
through
of
that life.
the beginning of your career, you need support in learning architecture, so you need a spouse from your field. The middle of your career, you need a spouse from other field to
Who
give you
does not
clients,
interfere.
to give you clients, to make you understand, to give you, I mean, like, to make you
That's a
a
very nice way to
sustainable
put it.
architect.
Yes.
And the finalized, I mean, the final years of your career, you should be a single woman or single person.
And you inspire me now. You really inspire me to start thinking about the third phase now. I have been thinking about it for quite long time, and it's just
Uh-huh.
that I am not really able to gather so much of courage to think life in that way. Just like the way you were talking about, going the
What's the
non-conformity way.
harm? I mean, what's
There
the
is no
harm?
harm. It's just that to learn
It's
about
about
doing it.
growing up with people, no,
Yes,
and help them
absolutely.
grow in their life as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. But you put it in a very nice way, to be honest, and in a very humorous way. And I think that's required, and that's the whole idea of these conversations as well. I just want to understand, you work in a very different culture at this point in time when you say you are in Rachi and all. But I'm sure there are, and you already were discussing about it when you told about how some big, sized men would come to office, and how their relationship also changed over time with the work, and the trust which built over time. But I'm sure you have also realized the physical and psychological aspects, which we sometimes feel that it is better that we are women and we are doing this job so that we can offer better option. And sometimes there are also situations when you think that, I should not have been here. So would you like to give some example out of, see, you don't have to take all the questions, but it's my, part of my questions. I should ask you these. Would you like to share something out of these questions?
I mean, what would you like to know? That should I have been here, or shouldn't I
No, I
have?
mean the
I mean,
physical and psychological aspect of being a
I
woman.
myself, I didn't have any kind of problem with men from the very beginning of my life. I told you this
Yes,
before as
yes,
well.
yeah.
I may have felt a little bit of curiosity about men, maybe in my college life, because I used to study in school, and
Hmm.
I am a girl with the capability of, I don't know, maybe getting adjusted or acclimatized with any kind of environment that you will give me. So I'm
Hmm.
very adoptive kind of a person. Now, if you
Hmm.
are asking me whether I wanted to be in this situation or not, I would say if you put me into another situation tomorrow
Not
morning,
any situation where you felt you are in advantaged position being a woman, or you are in disadvantaged position, not position as in the official position,
if I have to
situation
do it,
at
I'll do
work.
it. I will
Situ-
do it if I have
You'll
to do it.
take the challenge up front.
Yes,
That's very
yes.
good to know. That's really nice to know. That brings me to a question about, the kind of works you have carried out over the years, and some memorable projects you would like to share with us, and what makes them different,
Uh,
or
uh,
probably they shaped your way, the way you look at profession and life.
it's not quite right to take, I mean, see, like, first at the beginning of my career, I used to work with a private architect, so
Huh.
whatever architecture I did with him was, quote unquote, his work. It's not my
Huh.
work. And then I started, like, teaching in a college, so that point of time I was not really doing something
Hmm.
outside. And when I started working with CPWD, let's say everything belongs to CPWD, nothing is on my name. Maybe the
Very
drawings
well
have been
put.
signed
Yeah.
by me, maybe it has been executed on the site by me, but you can never call me the architect. That's the, what should you name it? Like, That's the most saddest part of the story, maybe.
Or
That
maybe more human side of it, because we should not own anything. I mean, I will look at the spiritual side of it,
true, true,
where
true, true,
because
true,
it's a, for the
absolutely true.
society, it's for the public.
Nothing matters. After 50 years from now, no one is going to know who has designed this small building as well. So
Hmm.
maybe within time, I mean, I'm not talking about people like Norman Foster or Zaha Hadid or Frank Lloyd Wright or Mia Vander Rohe.
Yeah,
But
but they don't do many buildings. We need
yes,
architects to do public buildings,
yes,
which are
or
happening.
Antonio Gaudi. So
Yeah.
maybe none of us or most of us won't be able to achieve that state or stage in our life. Maybe in some point of history, some architect's name will be written over in time. My case, I liked all of those designs, what I have done. I like to go a little bit of flamboyant. I like to use new materials. I like to see whether my building is going green or not. Of
Hmm.
course, this green term is also
Not
very
the
Jana
greenwashing.
Dekia. Yeah. Shanta sir used to say that if you put a lettuce inside a agar, does it become green? So same way goes, if you paint a building green, does it become green? So that
We
there's
really
like
had this kind of thing in the beginning in Ahmedabad. Huh? People were literally painting green. People were really putting creepers on the front facade. I'm like, what is this?
I'm making it a green building. So
Yes.
the same thing goes on. I won't take any particular building name, but always I try to follow few rules in which way the user, the prima facie, the user will remain happy in the place that I'm or place or space I'm making for them.
Hmm.
And the second thing, that they have to pay less amount of bills. And of course, even if they income something out of it, I mean, they can get something revenue back from that place, I would try to make them for them. And that's what I'm doing with all my buildings. They're not very, I would say, I mean, you have to visit my sites, I think, for this.
I'm sure I would
Come
like
to
to. See,
Ranchi. I'll
that's
take
in my
you to
agenda
my,
also. That's
yeah.
my agenda as well,
Please
that I would like to go
come to
and meet you.
Ranchi within this year. I'll take you to my sites, and I'll
Uh,
let you know okay, what I'm doing with them. I'm
sure.
always in support of like, even someone, if someone asks me to break a, even that is not a heritage structure, but it was built up in a British period, and it has let's say 1 feet thick wall, which is a natural cooler. You don't need to install ACs and all. I'm not in favor of destroying them that easily. So
That's also something which is
I'm a
about
little
women.
old
My
school.
next question is going to come to that.
I'm a little
That
old school about that. So I always try to support keeping back old things and keeping back old styles. And I try to make a composite element out of modernity and modern elements and let's say contemporary architecture. I try to combine them into my designs, but I try to make them much more functional, much more serviceable, much more usable. So
very well put. Yeah, interesting. See, I mean, I'm listening to you now about that, looking at the woman aspect of it apart from your work. And I also know that when we have conducted more than 50 interactions, there were some of them who really never looked at life and profession from the woman lens. It's more human lens. But as a researcher, I have to take that hawk eyes, and I look at the statistics as well, and also talking to more people, and I know that there is a huge discrepancy in the way society looks at women professional, in the way the number matters. I mean, when I go to different platforms and I'm a public speaker talking about these aspects, people cannot name more than 5 women architects in the country. Many schools, they have not even managed to name 5 women architects.
I know.
And there I have to go and tell them, at least name your teachers. They are also architects. So
Right.
that's the least you can
Very
do.
basics.
So this is where I also try to delimit the very definition of architecture. The point I'm trying to make is, yes, the profession is patriarchal. We cannot deny that fact. And the fact that more and more women do not see the importance of these kind of conversations, they do not realize how how it is harming the profession in the sense that we do not have role models to look up to. So when I grew up, I was only knowing Didi contractor, and I was like, oh my God, she's not going to ever take me in, because we got sustainable architecture. And I did not know any other women architects. Again, to my naivety, not even my own teachers, which I now question to the younger generation. But given this kind of context, I want to ask you a tricky question here, which is also my penultimate question, and we must end as soon as possible from here. Imagine a situation if the country had more women architects, because see, when we see more male architects, we are naturalizing it, we don't even notice it. But I want you to imagine a situation in the country when most of the architects, well-known architects, most of the buildings are done by women. It's not that I would like to live that day in my life. I would really like to have a gender equal or gender balanced profession. But it's like school mein when we apply for when we try for 100 marks, we get 70, 80, 60 with an effort. So that is why this question. So imagine a situation, all architects are women. What do you think will be the change in the way buildings are designed, neighborhoods are designed, how will cities look like?
I actually,
It's a tricky question, as I told you.
I mean, have you seen Inception?
Yes.
So I was imagining something about, I mean, like that.
Mhm.
Even if it is like a city full of Spartan women,
Huh.
I mean, like Spartan architect woman. So it
Hmm.
could be a city something like Inception.
Hmm.
I think who's the director? He's a female director, or someone like that.
I have to figure
I
it
mean,
out. Hmm.
like I love this. I mean, I don't remember the name of Steven Spielberg's wife. I
Hmm.
mean, he's also a
People don't know
director.
Einstein's wife, Mark's wife, who
Yeah,
got this
even
contribution.
Mary Curie, and let's say the
Curie,
big
for
ones.
that matter, one of my
If
favorite.
you
But even
search
in
all those,
architecture field,
yes, right.
look at
Even
Frank
if you
Lloyd
even
Wright, Louis Kahn, and they were
yes,
all
they all their wives are architects, and maybe in some point of time, all those designs have come up from them only. And
It's a discussion
I
which
think
goes on when I'm reading literature, by the way. There is a serious, serious gap.
right. So
Hmm.
if women, I mean, it's a woman-only architecture world scenario here in our place or country
In India. Hmm. Hmm.
in India, maybe. Uh, I think two extremes can happen.
Hmm.
It could be a space of chaos,
Huh.
or it would be a space of perfect balance, equality,
Hmm.
and aesthetical prominence.
Hmm.
And I mean, absolutely, what's that again? I'm referring to some other film as well, where there is a world, there is no inequality, like
Hmm. That's the
there is
most
no caste
important part
difference.
in working with women. We are always looking for this equality. When you talk to
So
men,
I can imagine two different scenarios. One
hmm,
is a total chaos, and one is absolutely a harmonious environment where people are living without any flaw. That's
hmm,
how a woman will shape the world.
hmm,
And if they want, they will shape it absolutely chaotically. There is no middle way in.
hmm.
There is no, I
So
mean,
you
in
do you
between.
suggest to take that risk to
Yes,
have all the
we
women
can.
architects?
I mean, what are we doing? We are actually going towards a future which is really chaotic. So we might take up this as well. Who knows?
Hmm.
It might come out as a perfectly shaped world. Who knows that?
I strongly believe that it is high time women have to take charge to make cities safer,
I mean, people
to
are
make
there. You see, all
cities
the farms, they have female partners. They have their wives
absolutely.
working with them. But do they act? I mean, actually show up into all the award
No,
ceremonies and
no.
the prima facie,
Even
all the
construction
talk
laborers.
shows.
Yeah, in even construction laborers, most of them are women, but they don't
Yes,
get acknowledged.
yes, absolutely. So people are somehow, I mean, women do try to live into the shadow of their partner. Or, I mean, in most of the cases, I think in some point of time, I have spoken to few women who actually worked in, I mean, like a retired person. Someday she told me that you need to have a little bit of less, uh, what should I say, little bit of less. I mean, বড় হওয়ার ইচ্ছেটাকে কি বলে? What should you say? What would you
To become, famous or
হ্যাঁ,
renowned.
like something like that, like উচ্চাকাঙ্ক্ষা যাকে বাংলায়
হ্যাঁ,
বলি।
বাংলায় বলো না, বাংলাতে বললে কোনো ব্যাপার নেই, বলো।
So, মানে
হ্যাঁ,
উচ্চাকাঙ্ক্ষা মেয়েদের মধ্যে একটু কম থাকলে তবে কোনো সংসারে ব্যালেন্স আসে।
হ্যাঁ, হ্যাঁ।
There can be
So
a
not
balance
not
in
ucha
families.
akanksha lesser in men, so it's only for women.
Yes, that's how the woman in maybe our previous generation. No, I mean, I won't say, because I have few people working with me even now. They are in contractual basis. One of the girl I was speaking with, she told me even the same thing, that once I get married, I won't come out and I won't work like this that I'm doing right now, because I have to give enough time to my family. I have to take care of my in-laws. So that thing is I mean, still acting as a barrier for women to come into profession, or specifically in architecture, and come out in the field. And I mean, you would see people, they are working from home mostly. I mean, architects also, they're doing something from home. They try to do
Because they
something
have to
online.
balance.
Yes, they have to balance, they have to manage home, they have to manage their kids studies, they have to manage their husband's clothes, and I'm sorry, people will like throw shoes onto me like saying
But
this,
it's
but
true.
that is
Actually, I go and wash clothes after this
that
conversation.
is,
Let me tell you that.
but that's the
It's
scenario.
life.
But I mean, they're being doshabhuja.
Ah,
Literally, they're being doshabhuja. I'm not, but they're
that's
being
what I call
doshabhuja.
superwoman syndrome,
I know, and you're perfectly managing everything, and everyone doesn't have that kind of positive zeal within them that they will manage their career equally dominantly, and they will manage their family also that dominantly. So they have to sometimes compromise, come down a little bit. I don't know. I should not comment about them, but they have this challenge in their life. I would say that, but they're doing a wonderful job. Because of them, what we see, what we hear, it is all because of their effort only, for their families, for their spouses. It is because of their sacrifice and their good work, all is happening very smoothly.
That brings me to the last question here. And you know that architecture profession is not doing that well. Many people don't know, and many people don't even know to pronounce architecture for that matter.
Architecture, that was the
Architecture.
pronunciation.
And even they say that when they introduce somebody, he is architecture or she is architecture, that they don't know that architecture and architecture anyway. But not about that, but in general, what will be, so this is my last question in two parts. What is your message about this whole profession? Why should younger generation look at architecture as a profession they may really enjoy or aspire? They should aspire, and it has something to offer to the society. What is your message? Why should people join architecture?
I would say people are till date ignorant about
That's why this question.
the term of architecture, because once you ask them about architecture, they won't comply with what you're asking them, and they wouldn't be able to understand what you're seeking out of their mind. So all the time they think that planning is making maps, and planning is done by people sitting in the municipalities, labeling themselves as LBS, who are mere diploma civil engineers. So, and in our country, we are, I think, although we have been labeled as a developed nation, but we are still developing somewhere for all these concepts. I mean, architecture outside India is something different. Architect some out of India is something different. But here, in order to make people realize about the importance of architects, somewhere architects have to come down a little bit. If they think
Absolutely.
I'll still remain in the top of the pyramid and I will work from the top of the pyramid, that is not going to happen in this case. You need to come down, you need to speak to the people, you need to understand their thought process, their longing, their need, and you need to work accordingly, not making a utopian something out of the air for all these people that they who are fighting for daily lives and fighting for their own bread. I mean, all of us after passing out, just passing out, are not that fortunate to get big clients, right?
Absolutely.
So people who will be passing out from future, in near future from different colleges all over India, they should always think of how to handle from a very small client to maybe big shots. But to handle a very small client is a most challenging job, I would say.
Yes.
And the architect's ego, that term should be striked off. The time they start working in the field, at the very time they should strike it off. They should start working with the need of their client, and from there, once they start implementing their ideas with mixed up with the client's need, and they start establishing their value in the market, maybe then there will be the time to show a little bit of ego of their own, but not at the very beginning of their career. I would
Not
say
true at
just
all is the best
let it
option.
go. Just let it go and work with the people. Do anything, everything for the benefit of the people. Don't think about yourself. You have been given the power of creating something. Not many of the human beings get that. And create something which will actually benefit them. You're not being a doctor, but you're making something for them which will actually last with them for the next maybe 50 years,
Yes,
maybe
absolutely. Their lifetime.
yes, and maybe 60, 70, 100 years also. So think in that point of view, think in that perspective, and take up all the challenge and work it out nicely.
Wonderful. So that brings me to the last part of that same question. Again, a message for the youth. And you may have not have faced as you were mentioning, but the question is really directed to what little things the younger generation should keep in mind so that the work environment, the educational environment looks more woman friendly, a woman feel more confident working in there, and probably one of the ways is to move towards gender balance so that not many women have to leave the work, whether it is academics, profession, research, or anything, but small gestures by younger generation, and I'm talking about both men and women for that matter. What should they keep in mind?
We, if we are actually working as co-workers, we need to take up that situation when if you're giving me like a virtual, or let's say imaginary scenario when where it's a beginning of first year and people from like female male students are there, how should they react with each other? I would say they would need, upbringing and moral boosting from the very small age is obviously required, but that
Hmm.
upbringing and moral boosting is also done at the very beginning of your career, like professional career, once you
For both
enter.
genders as well. For
Yes,
both
for
genders.
so maybe the professors in this case can play a little part into it, maybe not
Like
all the
in
time,
your
because
case also, like in your case, they really
yes. So
supported.
we need people who can inspire all these small little girls and boys how to deal with each other equally. Like they don't like be gender specific that she's a girl, she can't do it. I'm a boy, I can do better than her. It's not something like that. We have great artists as girls as boys in our own class. So same happens in other years also. People, a girl and a boy, maybe they have equal talents. We just need to
Hmm.
find them and boost them for that, and we need to make them understand that no one is lesser than no one. Because
Hmm.
see, still till, even if we are in college, we are still naive, we are still immature, we are
But
still
that's also
having the
time
lack of,
to teach.
yeah. So that's why we need the intervention of an educator, and
Hmm.
that educator's role is just not to teach them about architects, contemporary architecture, history, geography, this and that. They need to actually, what we also lacked in our days, they need to actually teach them how to survive a world outside the college. I mean, the
Hmm.
working field
So
outside the
important. Go
college.
beyond. I mean,
So
professional
no
practice
one,
is sadly
I
taught.
mean, like we were given a very difficult. I mean, like they told me, "What are you going to do?" I mean, some people were there. I mean, they were inspirational ones. They were those ones who used to discourage us like anything. Like they used to say, "I mean, you're studying architecture. I mean, after this, what are you going to do? You are not going to get any job. Like you're not going to go do anything. I mean, you'll just roam around in the roads with a hurricane in your hand. That's it. Nothing is going to get into your life, nothing is going to happen into your life." So that was their thought. So we need good inspirational teachers in our life to show us our ways, and how we can be real good architects, and how we can actually impact the whole society by being
Mm.
architects in future. So I think for kids it's very important that what kind of educational environment they're having inside their uh, college or their institution. That is very important.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much. And that brings an end to our conversation. I'm sure you enjoyed it.